Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Smegcast with me, the hostess for the mostess tonight, John Cassidy, and I'm joined on the show today by Tim Shaw.
Hello.
Mark Selley.
Good morning, Vietnam.
James Taylor.
Buongiorno.
Chris Toone.
Hello.
And last but definitely not least, Orie Walsh.
Good morning.
Okay, guys, it's great to have you on the show tonight. Let's jump straight into things. First of all, there's been an update to the Red Dwarf 11 game, the Officer Rimmer update. It's not a game that I've had much of a chance to play yet. Do any of you guys play the game?
Yep.
Yeah. Played a little bit of it, yeah.
Okay, so since I don't know a huge amount about the game, can you tell me a bit about the game first before we speak about the update?
It takes key moments from the episode. For example, I think in Samsara, you've got different bits of that. So you got like trying to deconfigure the drive for the ship. So it's like different bits of the episode, but like made into puzzle challenges. Once you complete that level, you go technically like through the episode, but you go from level to level.
All right, that's brilliant. Now, Chris, I think you've played it quite a lot. Can you tell us a bit more about what, the background about the game? You know, if there's anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I played, the recent one I played is the Officer Rimmer game.
Mm-hmm. So did you update then, yeah?
Yeah, I've had the new update because I played Red Dwarf 11, the game when it first came out, like when Series 11 was actually a broadcast on Dave. Basically, the episodes of him keep updating all of a sudden. But the Officer Rimmer one of the most popular games is Pac Rimmer, which is like the Pac-Man version of the Red Dwarf game sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it was devilishly difficult, but if you complete that level, you go on to the next level and all that kind of thing. The actual movement on the game itself when I first played it for Pac Rimmer, it was slow as anything. And then I think all of a sudden they've actually updated the actual patches.
Sure. Now, Chris, it's okay. I'll go through some of the changes and we'll see if you've felt those changes already. So, from what I can see, you were saying about the controls for the Pac Rimmer. There is improved controls across all the games. They've added a gamepad visual to match the touch controls, rebalanced and added new content across all sub-games, added additional objectives on some of the game stages, movement controls across the whole screen, not just in the left-hand side, added options to continue with the story or just play a specific sub-game, added additional audio throughout the game, made Karma Hack, improved firing controls and timings, fixed issue with sections not appearing when walking backwards, fixed cheat scores for quest sections, which is always a positive, optimised download size, plus many more bug fixes and gameplay improvements. So what kind of differences have you noticed generally when you have been playing the new Officer Rimmer update?
I think it's the movement controls now, because before it was like slow as anything, but obviously they've updated it quite a bit more and it's more easier for like the user to use it like with the game. So when the Red Dwarf fans or people who like the actual TV show, they can easily they'll be like, oh, this is brilliant, more updated and no bugs going about or anything like that.
Sure. Tim, have you played the game at all, or?
No, never. I don't have those special smartphones or devices that you can play it on, so I've never had a chance. But it sounds great.
It really does. And the one thing that I do like is they have fixed the cheat scores for quest sections. So, it means that you're able to earn your score. And if you do well, you have achieved it. It's not just that you're putting in a code and getting a really high score or whatever, which I think is positive, because there's a lot of AAA rated console games that just don't remove the cheat scores and cheat times, which I think sort of dampens the spirit of the game a little bit. Okay, now, guys, there are a few big events coming up. I don't know if you have a chance to go to any of them. There is the Swindon Comic Con. That's the most exciting thing to happen in Swindon since since that hay bill ran through the town. They're going to have Robert Llewellyn and Doug Naylor there, which will be fantastic. I know that Robert Llewellyn does give a lot of his time to the fans when they come up and ask him questions, when they take pictures with them, or just generally have a chit-chat. He's always very open about that. And Doug, sure, similar. I don't. You guys had any experience? Oh, you will have had experience with them lately, Tim, at the Dimension Jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met Doug 3 times now, I think. I first met him at the 2000 convention. That was at Heathrow Park Hotel. He wasn't actually on the bill to turn up. He just turned up on the Saturday, and he was hanging around during the disco. And I drunkenly went up to him and got him to sign my Series 8 script book. And then, didn't see him again until, saw him at the recording of the beginning in 2012, but then met him again in 2013 at Dimension Jump, and he was actually officially on the bill, meant to be there. So I asked about whether Back to Earth was Series 9, and he went on to explain in a very complicated way that I can't remember that Back to Earth is not Series 9, but it was a substitute to it. So I heard from the horse's mouth that confirmation, and it was actually nice to have that little chat with him. The queue was moving, so I didn't have time to really, have an in-depth chat with him, but got something there. And then he turned up at not the convention just gone, but the one before in 2015. Wasn't on the bill for that one. Turned up unexpectedly to announce Series 11 and 12. And then he did a very quick signing session, and I got to sort of say thank you for doing more Red Dwarf very, very quickly. So yeah, that was my experience with Doug Naylor. Every time I met him, very nice guy, and if he's got the time, he's always willing to talk to fans and answer any questions they have.
That I will say about the Red Dwarf guys is, there are a lot of TV shows, or there are a lot of people within TV shows where they don't give the time or whatever, but they all equally give a lot of time to fans. So it's always nice to hear that they are doing different Comic-Con events. I know that on the 28th to 30th of July, Robert Llewellyn will also be doing the London Film and Comic-Con as well. So if you're in the London area, you got to get your tickets booked and get your butt down there, absolutely.
It's nice to see Doug Naylor doing more of these events now as well, when he can. He couldn't make it to Dimension Jump this year, believe it or not, because he was at another con. So, he's obviously spreading himself about, hopefully while writing New Red Dwarf. You don't know what he's up to. He might be doing some other stuff. But yeah, it's nice to see him, doing these cons now, because normally he's just, tucked away doing something.
Sure. Well, what we'll do, certainly we'll talk about what we would hope that he would, what we would like to see in a later series of Red Dwarf a bit later on. Up. I want to talk a wee bit of Smeg. Obviously, with recent news, I thought it would be a nice wee subject, just a wee light-hearted subject to talk about. Now, what if there was an election in the Red Dwarf ship? Who would you put as the leader of the Smart Party? So it can be either one of the main characters or one of the characters that they play within the show. We want to see your comments on YouTube and on the Facebook page as well, because I think it'd be a nice wee light-hearted bit of chit-chat. So we'll start off with Orie. Who would you like as the leader of the Smart Party?
I would want it to be Crichton because he's the only one with brain cells plural.
Okay. If other reasons it would be Crichton, like because he gets the job done or because he's helpful or such like.
Well, yeah, that too. Mostly because he probably is the smartest one on the ship.
Yeah. Okay. What about yourself, James? Who would you pick?
Well, I think Lister would probably be the one who would go forward as the leader, being backed up by Crichton and the cat. And I think Rimmer would actually break off and create a new faction and try and come up with some way of defeating them.
Chris, what would you say?
I can imagine Lister being the actual leader, the Prime Minister of 10 Downing Street, and then he'd be talking about Curry overall and all that. And I think he'll attract quite a few people, actually.
That would be good. That would be good. See if it was like Lister as the head or the Prime Minister of the ship. with extra poppadoms every meal, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It'd be funny to see what he would implement. What about yourself, Tim?
It would have to be Crichton, but in lie mode and without his guilt chip. That way, he'd make the most perfect politician ever. And that's it.
What about yourself,
That's
Mark?
just an accurate politician.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
So Crichton would have. So it would have to be Crichton, wouldn't it? In that state, because it couldn't be Crichton, with any sense of guilt, and it couldn't be Crichton when he's telling the truth. He would make a terrible politician.
Yeah. What about yourself, Mark?
Probably Holly. I mean, you can't do worse than most of them nowadays because most of them seem to smeg up anyway. I mean, with the stuff, I've just say Holly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Norman Lovett's version as well. So.
For me, it would probably, if it couldn't be Ace Rimmer, then certainly the cat, for the simple reason that it's all about him, it's all about me, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. That's like typical politician, really, isn't it? But, yeah. I mean, not a lot would get done, but at least you would have fun over those 4 or 5 years. Okay, now we were talking earlier on about Doug Naylor, and we hope when he's writing more episodes of Red Dwarf, hopefully in season 13-14. Now, Tim, you were obviously speaking about this one earlier on. What would you like to see in series 13 and 14?
I'd like to see it basically just getting better. I mean, it's already improving every series from series 10 onwards. I have a funny feeling that series 12 is going to be better than 11. And if they did get on to 13 and 14, I think we would be in a new classic era of Red Dwarf, because it's taken this long for Red Dwarf to sort of warm up to being back on the television again. In the terms of story, yeah, I'd definitely like to see maybe Kachansky come back in some way, if she doesn't already prior, and Holly to come back on a permanent basis. Possibly the cliffhanger for Series 8 to be resolved, though I have a funny feeling that may never happen.
Yeah, it's become a bit too much of an in-joke now. It probably will never happen. What would you like to see, Chris?
I would say, sounds like what Tim said. The actual, from what I gather with Series 9, which is not Series 9, they might find a way of going back to Earth, which I think they've already been in the 3-part series in 2009, I think it was 2010. I reckon they'll probably bring back Kachansky in somewhere, as what Tim said, and Holly as well. Also, they might bring back like the original what happened from series 8, as what Tim said. So it's like, I think it's more or less the same with what Tim said, to be quite honest.
Yeah, so there'll be more sort of callbacks to earlier series, more that sort of thing. Absolutely. And I think, there is a lot of fans out there that want Kachansky back, definitely. Orie, would you like to see like seasons 13 and 14 having one long story arc with sort of different episodes in between, but with one main arc throughout, or would you like to see it just on an episode by episode basis?
Pretty well either way.
Sure. So, like when they were chasing after the Red Dwarf, that sort of thing. So, what could you imagine that they could be? I don't know, doing over a long story arc within like 8 episodes or so on.
Oh, God knows. I mean, you could probably pick anything, and they come up with a better version of what you come up with.
True. Okay, what about yourself, James? What would you like to see for us, anything specifically, character-wise, or stories that you think could really work that you would like to see if there was going to be a series 13 and 14?
I like the idea of something which would be episodic, continuing over a season arc, although the episode by episode one is quite good. I think one thing I'd love to find out is what happened to the cat people. We know from the first couple of series that one flew off and they hit an asteroid and got destroyed, but the rest of them, did they survive? Is there a colony out there? In regards to getting back to Earth, I think they've done that a few times now in various time zones, and I really don't think they should revisit that one. And the same as Kachansky. With the new Kachansky, I wasn't really a big fan, so I'd like it to be used as part of the storyline, but I don't think I'd like to see her back again.
I'm with you on that. I mean, when I go back to the earlier episodes, I preferred it when it was Claire Grogan. She just seemed to hold it better. I don't know what it was, but she just seemed to be the sort of antithesis of what Craig Charles was
Yeah.
within that character better than Chloe Annette was. But Chloe Annette, of course, the actress.
Yeah, I think it worked for me better with the fact that she was an officer. She knew her stuff. She wasn't too far away from someone that Lister would see. Whereas Chloe Annette's character, I think, it just went too far at the posh end.
Yeah, absolutely. It was maybe a bit too much.
Yeah.
Plus, Krasinski's meant to be from the Gorbals, so yeah.
Exactly, yes, yeah. I mean, if you could get Claire Grogan back, I don't know what she looks like these days, but I'm sure she'd fit in well with the rest of the crew. Bit of CGI, Star Wars style.
I bet she could still keep them at bay, I'm telling you that. I bet she would still be good enough at that. Mark, what would you, if there was going to be a series 13-14, which fingers crossed and toes crossed and eyes crossed that there will be, what would you like to see?
I've got a smart plan. Normally, there's about 6 episodes in every series, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about this. All of like the backstory of everyone like before they went with Dwarf. So you got the start of Rimmer, the start of Lister, start of Cat, the start of Holly, the start of Crichton, and at the end how they all converged to meet each other.
I think that's a very good idea. I'm surprised that no one's done that in a kind of, whether it be a comic book form or like short cartoon form, like the origins of Cat, the origins of Crichton, of Rimmer, of Lister. I think it would work, if not in the TV format, certainly within a cartoon or within like a comic. What do you guys think?
I think a prequel would be good. A bit like if anyone's read the Rob Grant novel, Colony. I know it's not Red Dwarf as such, but it does seem to be in the Red Dwarf universe.
Well, I was going to say one of my friends has got a bunch of the books, and I think they've got some basic stuff in it, like how Lister and Rimmer first met. From what she's told me, hilarious.
But I think you're absolutely right, Mark. I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of a very good idea. I'm surprised it's not been done actually before within the sort of intermittent period between season 8, series 8 and series 9. But yeah, absolutely. I think that, Doug, if you're listening, which I know you will be.
I just got to say, don't give Doug any ideas because he might just do it.
A whole story on how the Red Dwarf was built. That would span years.
That's very true.
A whole episode of them just painting, But no, I mean,
whole scenes of just people painting red.
Don't give Doug any ideas because ideas have been thrown around for years by the cast members, and then it ends up actually happening.
Well, that's very true. Yeah, that is very, very true. But if you're listening, Doug, you know where the royalty checks go to.
Just give me a call.
He'll find your number. That's all for this week's podcast, but if you have any ideas or views for the podcast, please feel free to contact us or at our Facebook page, RD Smegcast, or email us. We'd like to thank all the Smegheads for listening, and from all of us here, Smeg off!
Smeg off.
Goodbye!
Smeg off.
Smeg off!
James, you dead?
OJ.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah. Sorry, I was using that mute button.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, good
We're just making sure that you are still alive.
Yeah.
You're the only one with the sense to actually use the mute button.
Actually use it. Yeah, absolutely.
Sense to use it. Forget to turn the thing off.
At least you would have fun. Yeah.
So you on the phone again tonight, John?
No.
Oh, sounds like you are.
No, I'm not on the phone. No.
Oh, okay.
It's probably not coming across the best, I don't think, this week.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
It's probably not coming across the best this week, then, I take it.
Yeah, it sounds like we're on the phone.
Yeah. I could try holding it like this, but I don't know if that would help any.
No, it's alright. I can just about hear.
Yeah. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Ready when you are.
Okay.
I tried to mute my microphone so I didn't cough
Yeah.
loudly into it, and I turned my camera on. It was me. I figured out where the mute button is now. It's fine.
Right, so are we ready to go, or?
It's recording.
Okay, right. Right, we're ready to go?
Yep.
Yep.
You're on your own, John.
Yep.
Hold on.
I was just
I'm not able to hear it. My dog's barking really loud.
And at the autographs, I asked him about Back to Earth and whether it was Series 9, and he said it's not, and then he went on to explain really in a very complicated way, which I completely forgot.
Right, Mark, can
why
you
it
not move
isn't.
about your computer? It's coming across in my headphones.
Yeah. Can we just? I just want to say this is gonna be
Sorry.
this is gonna be the Smeg actually. Mark, are you using a laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think your internal microphone's switched on because I
don't
could hear you typing earlier.
It is, I can, yeah.
So you need to switch
You're
it off
coming
or
through
mute
twice
it.
as well.
You need to mute it.
And see, next time if you've got your microphone on your lap, is it okay if you put it on a table or something? Because we will hear they start faffing about. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that.
I'm moving now. There we go.
So where do you want to pick it up from, Tim? The whole,
where was I again? Was
you
that's
were
right.
talking
Series
about when
9.
you met him
Series
at
9. Series 9. That's it. Yeah. Okay, I'll pick it up now. So I asked him about Series 9, and he went on and explained in a very complicated way. So start again.
That's all for this week's podcast, but if you have any ideas or views for the podcast, please feel free to contact us on our Facebook page, RD Smegcast, or email us. That email will be in the description as we speak. I'm getting it onto the editor to do that as we speak. Thank you for all the Smegheads for listening, and from all of us here, we all say Smeg off. Or do they? I don't know.
Smeg off?
Apparently not.
They'll say,
Is that the bit where we're meant to say goodbye? Is it?
Yeah.
Quente, por favor.
Should do that again.
Hey.
Should do that again.
Yeah, no problem at all. And when I say we'll smell off, whatever we do, just go smell off.
There you go.